So with the rising popularities of bus conversions and van conversions and things like that, chances are you know somebody who's doing a conversion. And with the holidays coming up, we thought we'd give you some gift ideas that you could give them, because sometimes it's hard to give people gifts nowadays. We didn't want to just go and make a general, top 5 things that we use on our build list. We wanted to come up with something that was lesser known. Less people are likely to have this on their list, is what I'm thinking. And I'm going to start this off with step bits. They're used for making holes and everything. It's easier on your hand when you can progressively go up in step increments. On this bit, it starts off small and it works its way bigger. If I started off trying to make like a 1-inch hole, it'd torque my hand or my wrist, and it'd be harder on the drill. So if you start off small and increasingly go up in size and steps, it's so much easier on the drill and on you.
This makes the build easier, having something like this. And they come in all shapes and sizes. There's smaller ones and tiny ones. Come here. Tiny ones. And these really save your wrists and your other bits.
Normally step bits are really expensive, but we found this, 5-piece set on Amazon, and I lose the pieces more often than I break them. But this one was only about $20-ish on Amazon when we purchased it. So this is a good gift for those who don't know what else to get them. It's a consumable item, being a drill bit. Makes a good gift.
And I'll put the link in the description below.
Links for everything that we're doing is down in the description.
Yeah.
So next we have the Rex Betty. And the Rex Betty is just it's a rivet nut machine. And so you take, actually let me grab something. So you take these, which are rivet nuts, and you put them on the machine, and it lets you have a threaded hole anywhere you would like a threaded hole. You just drill a hole. There's Rakeem. That's going to happen for a long time.
Yes,
that's why you don't leave your personal number on a work business card. Oh well. Where was I? So, the Rex Betty, it's just a rivet nut machine. It allows you to drill a hole in anything, a piece of sheet metal or something, and you can insert threads into it, like a rivet.
But like threaded, like if you were to tap it.
Yeah. So we have it securing lots of things on our truck. What's it holding up? License plate holder. It's holding up some exterior lights. It's holding up our bins. So yeah, I didn't trust it right away in the beginning because of how it looks too easy, too good to be true, but it's actually supporting the weight of all of the bins. Not one nut, of course, but multiple nuts per bin is supporting the weight of it. And a guy tested it online, and the bolt broke before the nut pulled out of its metal. And then he switched to a bigger bolt, and it pulled out of the metal it was strong enough to rip the metal apart. It didn't just pull out of its hole. It actually tore the metal. So I trust it. You do your own research, but this is a very good tool.
Yes, it tends to be just as strong as what you put it into, though, or the bolt you put into it.
So they don't actually make the Rex Betty anymore, but we're going to put a link below to other rivet nut machines. Rex Betty is just a name. It's not. It's a brand, but it's one of those pop-up overnight brands, and then it went away. At least that's to my knowledge. So we'll just leave a link down below to other rivet nut machines that you can use.
Next on our list is this ratcheting terminal crimper. Now, terminals are for making wire connections, which you're going to have to do a lot of when you're doing a conversion, especially if you do your own wiring. Well, only if you do your own wiring. A traditional crimper, you have to just like muscle it into, the crimp, and you might not push hard enough, or it might cut it because it's typically sharp. So on this guy, you can squeeze it with all your might and just hope that you have the right tension. But this guy, you know it's right because it ratchets down until it releases, and then you know for sure it's good. And it's color coordinated for different wire sizes.
If you don't know, wire terminals, They're color coded for the wire sometimes, but most of the time the color is the size of wire that can go into it. Not a lot of people know that. Red is for certain gauges, blues for different gauges, and yellows for other gauges. I'm gonna put that. I don't have anything nearby. I put that down like right. Put it like right here on which terminals are for what color sizes. You'll see. It's really easy to follow with the graphic, so I'll show you that.
Next up on the list is the label maker. And this helps you keep organized when you're doing labeling for wire, labeling for plumbing systems.
This is my favorite because my handwriting is garbage.
It's pretty bad.
And so with this, I can just type it and it prints off a label. And they're not that expensive. I think this one was like around 20, 30, something like that.
All right, next we have this wire stripper. And this makes it a whole lot easier and quicker than the traditional wire stripper. If you do a lot of stripping, this will save you time and sore hands.
And on this particular stripper, I think you can do multiple wires at once. So on this stripper, it's got a cut function and it has a strip function. So there's the cut, and then I'm going to cut it again, maybe. I think you should be able to do 2 or multiple wires at once. Yeah, look at that. 2 at once.
Makes it so much faster.
So much quicker. So this is where the list starts to get a little bit more expensive. This is a hydraulic crimper, and so if you go to the wire shop and get some big wire cut for, let's say, your main battery terminals or something like that, they're gonna crimp an end for you if you ask for it, usually with an extra fee, and they're gonna use a hydraulic crimper. If you go and do it at home, usually they give you something that you have to squeeze really hard, the same thing, you hope you have the right tension, or they give you like a block, you smack it with a hammer, and then hope that you made the right connection. This is a hydraulic crimper, not like what they use, but it's very similar. Theirs is probably plug into the wall. This one, of course, is handheld, and you just pump it up. This is very cold. So you just pump it, and it closes those jaws, and with your wire inside, it will stop at the right diameter, right pressure. So this is for 6 gauge, the dies that I have in here right now, and you can just see that it's really easy to make a connection. I'm getting that on my hand. It's very cold. It's -4 degrees today. And that fire is not as hot as it looks.
And then, this is one of my favorites. This is a portable soldering iron, or portasol. Now this is just a little butane lighter, well, a big butane lighter. It has a heat gun function, lots of various soldering tips. This helps a ton when doing wiring, whether you're heat shrinking or soldering. There's a connection, there's a tip in here for everything.
It's a lot easier than dragging out the extension cord and your plug-in soldering iron. Plus it gets hot super quick.
So fast.
Super quick.
No more waiting for your soldering iron to be hot enough to melt your solder.
And you can take it with you.
Yeah, and it's super portable.
Make connections and fix things off-grid. Let's say you take your van out to the beach and your wires come loose. You don't have to try to fix it with a lighter. You've got this. It's a much more capable tool.
And did we mention you don't need electricity to use this?
Yeah.
It's perfect.
It's perfect, yeah.
This has saved our hide a couple of times.
All right, and the last thing on our list, but certainly not the least, probably actually the most used item that we have, is our Craig jig. I couldn't find the actual drill bit, but this Craig jig is just a pocket hole jig. You set the depth for your drill bit, and then you set your height on this block, clamp it down, and you drill a pocket hole. That is the easiest, quickest way that I've seen to join wood, and it looks good because it's hidden most of the time. You can put the pocket holes on the back, and that way you never see them. Like all of our cabinets in here are built with pocket holes and screwed together. The bed is screwed together with pocket holes. The couch over here is screwed together with pocket holes. Pocket hole jig is like is amazing. Now, since we bought it, when we bought the Craig jig originally, it was like 50, 60 bucks. Now it's like 150 or 60 for this one. But they have a smaller one that works just as good. It's just a little bit slower because you have to line it up each time.
And clamp it.
And clamp it down, yes. But whatever you do, you don't have to get the Craig jig. Get a pocket hole system, and it's so much easier to build with.
And this one is quite a bit cheaper than the big guy, and makes a cute little stocking stuffer for your maker.
The big one is around 150-ish. The small one is around 20 to 30, I want to say. Can't remember, but we'll leave links, like I said, to everything down in the description. Alright guys, thank you for watching Make an Adventure. Join us next time for more adventures where we build things and take this tiny house that we've built on the road and travel around, go on an adventure.
For making and adventures.
Yeah, I'm Kimi, this is Stephanie. If you stayed this long, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you guys next time.
See you later.